So while I had my time off, one of the fragrances that I was waiting on, well, it's actually one of the groups of fragrances that I was waiting on, was the Christina Aguilera fragrances. If you follow my Instagram, you saw that I had received Moonlight Bloom from Christina, which I have right here. We will jump right into this. Moonlight Bloom. This is her most recent release. So this is brand new. This is her most recent release that she's done in a while. Moonlight Bloom I got from my friend who moved to Paris. He lives right outside of Paris, actually. But he's also who got me my Britney Spears Blissful Fantasy. Apparently over in France, you can get like everything fragrance-wise. Earlier than we do here in America. And two of the fragrances that I like to get, obviously, are Britney and Christina fragrances. And they're like all over the UK and France. They are at Shoppers Drugs and all these different places. There's this one place called, oh, it starts with a B. Boots, maybe is the name of it. Boots. Might be right. Boots UK. But anyways, they can literally get fragrance at like what would be our equivalent of like a Publix or a Kroger. They can get fragrance like that at their grocery store. So, Moonlight Bloom I received actually the day that I went to the event that ended up giving me COVID. That's why I've kind of not been around for a while. I got COVID and it beat my effing ass. I lost my scent ability and I lost my taste ability for probably 2.5 weeks. I'm just now getting back. I'm talking and I can still feel a little bit of congestion. I also had a really terrible sinus infection with it. But the day that I received Moonlight Bloom was February 5th. And I ordered it like January 2nd from my friend and it took that long to get here. Plum and blueberry with majestic woods. Those are the things that I would describe this as. Moonlight Bloom came and I tested it and I loved the warmth in the woods and the blueberry and the plum. It's a very grown-up scent. Majority of Christina's fragrances are very mature. And I said that on my Instagram page. Everything she releases is typically sexy. It's typically very mature and very classy. She doesn't really have any playful, fun, fruity scents, but we're going to get there. This reminds me the most of Violet Noir. Violet Noir was the last bottle she released before this in that small, like, flaken that she did where she was keeping that same shape of that bottle that kind of goes down like a V and flags out. This is this new style of bottle. So while being sick, I decided to order more perfume. I was on a no-buy and that got thrown away really quickly because I had nothing else to do but be sick and sit around and mope that I couldn't smell anything. So I posted about Moonlight Bloom and one of my followers on Instagram was like, hey, they've just released the rest of her line, Sans Moonlight Bloom, on FragranceNet.com. And I had just ordered stuff from FragranceNet. I got those Valentino perfumes. So I was still trying to pay off my Afterpay or Klarna or however I split up my FragranceNet purchase. So I was like, are you serious? But they did. They released on FragranceNet Experience and Oh So Beautiful. FragranceNet came through and was selling Experience, Oh So Beautiful, and the rest of her line that is current. Because her fragrances are not being manufactured anymore. They're pretty much discontinued, and a lot of her fragrances are old. So the problem we run into is if they sell them, they're not always coming with a good batch. Case in point, Royal Desire by Christina Aguilera is next to impossible to get, and to get without it being spoiled. I actually ordered it from FragranceNet, and they sent it to me, and I opened it up, and it was disgusting. It smelled like swamp. It was not good quality. It was spoiled. It was rotten juice. And I messaged them and they gave me my money back and told me just to throw the fragrance away since it was spoiled. Biggest issue I have with Christina's fragrances are the fact that they spoil. I have had most of her perfumes for a very long time, but there are just a few that are not being manufactured, one of which is Royal Desire. You can still find Woman, you can still find Glam X, you can still find her first one, you can still find Unforgettable. But Red Sin, Touch of Seduction, they're hit or miss. Royal Desire, hit or miss. And then now I'm afraid Violet Noir is going to be that way. And then there's one other one. I have to look back and see what the name of it is. I always forget it. It's not Definition. Definition is still fairly new, so I don't feel like Definition is going to be an issue. What is it? Secret Potion. I still have Secret Potion, but my bottle, I've only gotten it to halfway because it's not a super, super enjoyable scent. It's the one that I mentioned. There's not anything really fruity or playful from Christina. Secret Potion is about as fruity or playful as Christina gets. And she didn't do it good. It's a very basic, weak-ass scent. I just love the bottle. It's so cool. It's so hit or miss with her fragrances. I had Inspire, her very, very first fragrance ever that was released with Macy's, and I let that go. It started to spoil. Which is what leads me to going my fragrance net purchase. I wanted to get Oh So Beautiful, and I wanted to get Experience. But I also needed to pick up a new bottle of Red Sin, and I needed a new bottle of Touch of Seduction. So they were on the website. FragranceNet is getting better about posting only things that have good formulation, especially Christina perfumes, because they took Royal Desire off, and they took a couple others off. They don't have Inspire on there anymore. So I figured, okay, if they've got Red Sin on there and they've got Touch of Seduction, I feel safe ordering it. So I ordered both, and they're both big bottles. They're 1.6 and 2 fluid ounce bottles. So I got Red Sin, which this is my favorite Christina fragrance. This is probably my 6th bottle of this. Yeah, this makes bottle number 6. I've had 3 small bottles and 3 big bottles, and this is the largest. This is a really spicy, cinnamon, floral, fruity scent, citrusy scent. Very heavy on the cinnamon and spice. So should be very noticeable, right? And then this one, which I love this bottle. I love the curvature. I love the rose gold. This is actually raised felt. It's so sexy. This is a powerhouse fragrance. It is sexy. It is fruity, sweet. It's sweet. It's not so much fruity, playful as it's sweet and seductive. It is like raspberry and neroli and plum and plumeria with a little bit of white floral. It is so pretty. It's super juicy though. So it would be familiar, right? These are both reformulated. These are not the original, especially this one. So for those of you that like Red Sin, which most guys and gals that buy Christina fragrances, anytime they're ever asked, oh, what's your favorite Christina scent? Most people say Red Sin. Look at the bottle. Look at the juice. What do you see? Yes, it's brand new, but what's different about it? It's clear almost. Even when I was buying this brand new back when it was sold at Kohl's and sold on her website before it went totally like overseas and you can't buy it, it always had a redishy orange tint to it. This has a hair bit of red, but honestly, it's so light that I thought once I pulled it out of the bottle, oh, it's going to be spoiled. It's not spoiled. It's just watery, wet, let down Red Sin. It is so basic. It doesn't have any of the strength. It has a hair bit. I sprayed it the other day. That's why I can smell the top. It has a hair bit of the original formula. It's like a watery cinnamon now with a little bit of white floral and fruit. It's not the Red Sin that I come to love. That's why I said Moonlight Bloom will probably replace this, because this actually is concentrated and smells good. This, unfortunately, trashed. But it's not bad. It's pretty. It's still good. It's just they trashed the old way they made it. And I even looked at the box. I tried to read. They didn't change a damn thing. I've yet to really learn how to read batch codes and whatnot and all that stuff. I need to learn all that. Most of these bottles of hers do say 36 months, which is 3 years. I do believe that is true with her fragrances. And then Touch of Seduction was way sweeter than this. This is watered down as well. And maybe they've had to reduce some of the alcohol in it because the alcohol was what was spoiling the fragrances. This one also still says 36 months. They're all manufactured in Germany, so that's why it's overseas. All of her fragrances are done in Germany. She's won all these awards. Like, these are all the awards that her fragrances have won, and they're all overseas. Dutch, Sweden, German, Russian, British. Grammy Award 2011 for, Glammy, not Grammy. I was like, why'd this bitch win a Grammy for a perfume? She won a Glammy Award. Well, look at go girl. They're eating her up. I swear if I ever go overseas to Germany or Britain or France or Sweden, I'm bringing Christina, because they'll know what the fuck I'm wearing. In the United States and Canada, they're like, what is that? Well, anyways, I was happy though that Fragrance Net had Ooh So Beautiful and Experience. I was able to get them both really cheap. They only have the 1 ounce of Ooh So Beautiful and the 1 ounce of Experience. Experience is the last bottle of this sexy womanly shaped bottle that she did. She did it for Glamex, and she did it for Touch of Seduction. I will say Glamex is pretty, but Glamex is kind of boring. I've talked about that though. But Experience is not boring. Experience is confusing. I waited for this fragrance. This was released around the time that she was doing the Liberation Tour. And I even thought maybe they would sell this at like the merchant stands, the merchandise stands, and they did. So now that I can smell, because when I got both of these, I could not smell them at all. And one of my friends I talked to on Instagram, we were talking about it, and he said, what is she wanting us to experience with Experience? And I laughed so hard at that. I was like, what is she wanting us to experience? Well, now that I can smell what she's wanting us to experience with Experience is a citrusy, older, mature, musky white floral. I like it. It is pretty. So for my friend that didn't really know what to experience, I know what I'm experiencing, and I love it. This is gorgeous. I love it. I could not smell it for the life of me when I sprayed it on my wrist when I first got it. It was like, all I got was a little bit of white musk. Like, I could barely smell the citrusy musk. And I smell that now. This reminds me of other fragrances. I get Sarah Jessica Parker Lovely. I get Narciso Rodriguez Her. I get so many scents. I get a little bit of Valentino. It's in the air. I just inhaled it. It's not bad. It's good. But it's got this citrusy whiteness to it that's really pretty. I also get a little bit of Marchesa. It's good, though. I think it's pretty. I'm not going to say it's her best, but it's definitely pretty. Ooh So Beautiful came out after Experience. It's what introduced this bottle, this aesthetic look. And it's interesting because Ooh So Beautiful is lighter and then goes sort of dark, and Moonlight Bloom goes light to very dark. So they're like X and O, vice versa, you know, the opposite. And this is white lettering and this is red lettering. They're very bland, basic looking, thick bottles, you know, the red and the white and the mixture, but this is the new bottle look. From what I remember, and this is the Ooh So Beautiful box. I think I showed that. I like the box. It has a really pretty iridescent. I kind of wish the bottle looked more like the box. From what I remember, this was more fruity and soft white floral. It got a lot of comparisons to like Chanel, like Chance and Daisy. Now smelling it, it's crazy how much I couldn't smell when my scent was out. When my scent was gone, my sense of smell was gone, man, I couldn't smell not even an inch of stuff sometimes. It was so weird. So yeah, I get Daisy a little bit. It's more like a grapefruit, fruity floral. It's pretty. It's soft. It reminds me of stuff I have. There's this really pungent note to it that's not that appealing. I don't know what that is. That's crazy because this smelled good when I couldn't smell, and this smelled bad. But now that I can smell Experience better. Experience is definitely an older, mature smelling scent with a little bit of citrus. This is definitely just like a white floral, very similar to Daisy by Marc Jacobs. Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, I'm glad that I picked up what I needed to pick up. The new version of Touch of Seduction in Red Sin was kind of unexpected, but I'll wear them and see how I feel. Out of Ooh So Beautiful and Experience, I feel like Experience is the stronger one, the winner. But out of the 3 released, most recent, Experience, Ooh So Beautiful, and Moonlight Bloom, the most appealing is Moonlight Bloom. I don't have the box for it. I already put it away. So, I forgot. But Moonlight Bloom is also the strongest. I feel like Experience is strong. Ooh So Beautiful is very light but sweet. Moonlight Bloom is definitely the strongest, so if you want something that's kind of light, go with Ooh So Beautiful if you're going to jump in for fragrances of Christina's. Experience is very mature. But a really good one of hers that I'm not talking about is Unforgettable, and her very first fragrance is very good from this new lineup. I just call it Christina Aguilera, and Definition is also really good. Violet Noir is dark. It's dark, woody, leathery, sweet, plum. I like it, but it's specific, again, like most of her scents. So, yeah. If you have questions about how the scents work or what the scents work well with, let me know. I haven't mixed her perfumes much, but I feel like they could be mixed with some things. So, we will chat more later. Thank you, guys. Bye.